Hi again, Terry Michael, the Bible lady. Jerusalem, the mystery of Mount Moriah. Well, it's called Mount Moriah, and no, it doesn't have anything to do with Sherlock Holmes or Moriarty. It regards three astounding events that occurred there, and they're connected in mysterious ways. The first is Abraham offered his son Isaac. It was here that Abraham's faith was tested when he was instructed to offer his son up. That's in Genesis 22, 1 through 18. But what do you think Abraham's thoughts were when he was taking his son to be laid on the altar? That's a big mystery, I think. Well, you heard the name Jehovah Jireh. It means my provider. But did you know that in the book of Genesis, Jehovah Jireh, or Yahweh Jireh, was the name of the place on Mount Moriah where Isaac was offered? Because in Genesis 22:14 it says, "And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh. It is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen." So there's a connection. There's a mystery. We're going to find it. It was the location of the binding of Isaac, where God told Abraham to offer his son as a burnt offering. And Abraham named the place after God provided a ram for the sacrifice in place of Isaac. And then look at what Jehovah Jireh provided. Jesus was sacrificed on Mount Moriah. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. The second mystery, the second largest thing about it, is it's the site of Solomon's temple. David had sinned, and this is how it happened. David had sinned against the Lord by numbering the people because he wasn't supposed to. And in 1 Chronicles 21:13, David realized he had sinned, and he said, "I've sinned, let it be on me." And God gave him three choices, and David asked God that it would fall into the hand. He turned it back to God, and he said, "Let it fall into the hand of the Lord." And the Lord decided to send a pestilence upon Israel, and it fell on 70,000 men. An angel was sent to Jerusalem, and as it was being destroyed, then God repented, and he told the angel to stop. This is all in 1 Chronicles 21. You should read it. It's amazing. So David saw this angel drawn with a drawn sword over Jerusalem, and he and his elders fell on their faces. And a smart thing to do, right? I would, yes. So David said to God, "Is it not that I commanded the people to be numbered?" Then a strange thing happened. The angel of the Lord tells Gad, who is a seer, he's a prophet, to tell David that David should set up an altar to the threshing floor of Ornan, the Jebusite. So David purchased the land, which later became the site of Solomon's temple, that we know as Solomon's temple. That's in 2 Chronicles. It says, "Then Solomon began to build the temple of the Lord in Jerusalem, in Moriah, Mount Moriah, where the Lord had appeared to his father David." So that mystery is solved. The third is the crucifixion of Jesus. And I already gave you a big clue and hint at that. But we saw earlier that Jesus was crucified on Mount Moriah. But what connections do Abraham and Isaac have? And what connection does David have at the threshing floor with Jesus? Well, like little good detectives, we're going to go find out. Okay. So there are most likely many, but the two I see are Abraham giving up his only son, because that's what he was doing. He was offering up Isaac. And the other is the fact that others suffered and died for someone else's sin. There's 70,000 that died for David's sin. Well, in that sense, it's the same as Jesus suffering and dying for our sin. By the way, Mount Moriah is on the Judean range, and Jesus was born into the tribe of Judah. Just a little fact. So the crucifixion of Jesus took place in the same region of Messiah, where over 2,000 years ago, Abraham had stood, prepared to offer to God his innocent son. But this time, Jesus carried the wood, and there was no ram caught in the bushes to take his place. Hebrews 13, 11, 12 says, the high priest carries the blood of animals into the most holy place as a sin offering, but the bodies are burned outside the camp. And so Jesus also suffered outside the city gate to make the people holy through his own blood. God sacrificed his only son, Jehovah Jireh. He does provide. Till next time.